So this is second Sunday. So guess who's coming up here? Our own Reverend Paul.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for your love. And thank you for your introduction. Well, you know, this theme brings about only in addition to what it is that we are aware of about ourselves, but sometimes, you know, we forget due to just some challenges. But, you know, it takes dedication and commitment to stick to something and to overcome things. And Barbara and Tommy Cross put in 50 years to make it through. Congratulations. Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago, right? Or a week ago. 60 years. All right, so 60 years, but I think we already addressed that one. But, you know, excuse us up here. You know, I was getting punished while I was but that's okay. I'm going to stick to my plan. You got to work. You got to press on. You got to move forward. Because you can get sidetracked. And we need to recognize, you know, as it is written in Psalms, that God is our hiding place. That God is protecting us from our troubles. And that He surrounds us. See, there is not a spot that we can go to that this presence is not with us, but only in our minds do we evacuate His presence. See, we choose to not stand in the presence and call on the power to release us from the bondage, the trouble, the hurt, the pain, the shame. We give it a narrative that deconstructs our own power and make us feel that we cannot, and why are we even attempting? This is what we tell ourselves. And therefore we struggle with coming out of the very thing we say we don't want. See, this power and presence is with you. So if you stand in it and you say you want something or you don't want it, it's going to show up. Because it is the power and the presence of. And as we speak into this life, this ether, it will reveal to us the very thing that we say. Take a look around. We're all living in it. And it has given us everything we've asked for, even the things we don't want. That's how strong it is. You see, this power of the presence and the power in the presence is the unification that comes from the thing itself. It just provides us with what it is that we need, and it only comes to awaken and liberate us from our doubts. So in Genesis, it said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness. So what it's saying is that comes after I bring it into existence will be like me. And here it is. Then it says, I'll give them dominion and power over everything. You name it, you got power over it. So then it goes on to say, as God created man in his own image, in the image of God created he him. I don't think y'all caught that one. God created he him. So what it's saying is God created them as him. See, you got to be able to see this information. See, because both and female comes, and it takes that love and that compassion and that driving force that man has to produce this life. See, our recognition of our relationship to God or our divine sonship, it is the key element. Gotta believe there's a connection. The inner connection must be realized before we can even activate the power. See, what are we thinking about who we are? What are we thinking about the things that we've done? This is how the mind works. It is only to get us to look at things, and then we're supposed to adjust. See, we got to amend, because if you hear something that comes back up that you've experienced, you got to go deal with it. How do we deal with it? We deal with it in mind. So we have to know that we are empowered to overcome it, because it keeps showing up. We got to do it. It ain't going to pass. It's not going to leave until we address it. We can push it over in the corner, but when you push it in the corner, guess what? When you go back over there, there it is. And it just gets bigger. It just piles up. Don't wash and see what happens. The inner connection must be realized before this power will even activate itself. In traditional teaching, it is taught that God has one son, right, which is Jesus, but we believe that the eternal is forever producing, one that will forever produce that which he believes is possible. What do you believe is possible for yourself? What do you believe that you can achieve? Whatever that is, that will be what you see. The power and the power in this presence, it does not cease. In its production or creativity from the mind of mankind. That's us. We are mankind, made in the image and likeness. The eternal is forever producing that which is the realization of its own perfection. It can only produce what we're saying that we want to see, that we believe that we can do, and that we don't quite live up to. That's because we didn't quite live up to, because we thought that it, not for me, not right now. I shouldn't do it. I did this yesterday, and I shouldn't have done that. I ate too much. No, stop. Live and adjust. We're all different. One person can eat one piece, and one person can eat two, and the person who eats one may become bigger than the person that eats two. So stop. Stop judging yourself like that. Just live your life. This is the stuff we do to ourselves, though, and that's what we got to catch. This is what we all do. We think size has nothing to do with it. Yeah, I know on some occasions, yeah, it do, but no, it don't. Just be the greatest you that you can be. Work hard to be better today than what you were yesterday. That's the key to this thing. Not giving up on yourself. Don't feed yourself this erroneous thoughts that you have. Fight back. Tell it to cease to exist in this moment. Amen. Flee from me. Gotta deal with it, man. See, because we're surrounded by this essence of the power, and the present in these ethers, it is the space that is all around us. We are all offsprings of the Father, which is the power, the Father which carries the chromosome that is present in and through you and I. Ernest Holmes says in the theme itself, first it's the cause, then it's the spirit, the mind, or that invisible essence, that ultimate stuff and intelligence from which everything comes, the power back of the creation. See, We are God's vicegerents. Or in other words, representatives of the power that it produces. And each of us partakes of the presence in us to the degree that we comprehend how much of it we can have. And once we grasp that this power and its principles works in us, and then we can activate it by unifying with the presence. So in other words, and Paul said in Philippians 2:5, let this mind be in you that was also in Christ Jesus, whom thought it not robbery to be equal with God. Are you afraid to be equal with God? No. See, it's already written eons ago. We have to stand up in the power and the principle of our minds. Let it be in you. And we don't need to do it in a way that's braggadocious or that we're better than. It's just that we need to prove it for everyone around us. So when we do speak about the presence, they see it. See, because most of the time we looking at each other's mistakes. That's how we look at each other. We don't look most of the times, on average, we ain't looking at the good, we looking at all the mistakes. You see that. We break each other down. For what? For what? Because of our own hurt, because of our own guilt, for all these experiences that we've had that we didn't like, we throwing them on everybody else. We got to stop. We must become one with the power and the presence that has created us in his image and likeness, which is the Father in heaven, which only represents the divine ideas that is within us. And it is only perfection. So let us affirm with me, divine mind within me. Divine mind within me. Come on now, I know I may slow down sometimes and hesitate, but come on, let's say it with conviction, because you got to remember that, when we say it with a meaning and a drive and a purpose, it'll do something to us. It's like a stimulant. It's like most of us, we drink coffee to get stimulized to go. We got to do our affirmations to stimulate us to go, right? We got to turn that switch off, right? Like, don't judge ourselves so much, but become aware of what we're judging so that we can repair that judgment. We grasp that? Divine mind within me. Divine mind within me. I grant you access. I grant you access. To awaken in me. To awaken in me. Your divine love and power. And power. Now don't that feel good? Just say it to yourself. Nobody even have to know. We're saying it out loud here because we're making it bigger. Because when two or more are gathered, it's more powerful. But this is the stuff we got to tell ourselves when we hear that little thing. Why you going over there? What you doing? Be still and know that I am. I am present with you always. We must recognize God as the one and only power in the universe, and unify with it and declare our word to have the presence and the power and authority as the first cause. Got to believe that our word has the power as the thing itself. Got to believe that we are empowered to do this because we are chromosomes, right? We're all our chromosomes. We understand this because we all been in the biology class that taught us about how we had the chromosomes of our parents and all that. This is what we're saying. This is how it works with us. right? To make it simple, make it plain with us. So know that you got it. Know that. One might say, how do I unify with it? Again, by affirming the power and the presence is surrounding me and protecting me from my lack of faith wherever I am. See, it is only us. And we have to know that we are standing in the power and the presence of the essence of life that is guiding us and protecting us. This key is our belief when we accept that right where we are, God is. We will open the door to awaken our power by making contact with the presence. See, the power of and in this presence, it requires us to awaken our understanding. See, we just got to understand better, right? We got to do our homework, if you will, right? Some of us need to do a little bit more work, right? Some of us can read it one time, got it. Some of us got to read it like 50 times. That's just the way it is, but don't judge because you got to do it 50, just do your 50. That's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. Do your 50 and come on, man. We're going to all be up here waiting on you to meet us up here. That's what we're doing. See, our faith and belief, it shapes our perceptions. And if we believe that we are not worthy of God's blessing, we are looking at our past. Then, if we look at our past, we're only going to repeat the mistakes of the past because that's what we're believing and trusting in. I remember when they did and I just didn't feel good, so I couldn't do it. But I wanted to, but for some reason, I just couldn't build up the courage to do it. When you hear that, when you think that, you got to say, no, I can. I am. I'm ready. I'm built for this because I'm here. You're not going to be present in something and not be able to deal with it. We all here. We can handle it. Just because of the burdens we had don't mean we can't make it. The burden is telling you to push back. Believe that I'm with you and I got you. Got to let go of the past. Got to stand into the presence and the present moment. Because as long as we're looking back, all we're going to do is be looking back. And as all of us know who are driving, if you look back long enough, something's going to show up and we ain't going to be ready for it. Okay? And then we can update it to today's version. You can be in a Tesla and have all your cameras on it, and they'll still run into it. Why? Because somebody's not thinking, didn't line it, didn't put it in the right place. You got to put your focus and your thoughts and your ideas in the right place so that you can live and be. You can't judge yourself because you haven't met what you think you should have and think that it can't show up or it won't show up or it's not for you. You got to know that it's for me, but what's happening is that I got to move this out the way so that I can recognize this when it shows up for me so I can see the love, the good that's mine. That's how you see it, by trusting in the Lord. See, and so James says in the book, if any of us lack wisdom, let him ask. You gotta ask. We quit asking. I don't want to ask nobody. I can do it. Sometimes when you ask, it will show up for you through the person. See, just because the person did not give you what you need, they may have gave you what you needed to hear. I know sometimes that stuff is tough because I need this. I need 150. I need 200. But if the person tell you, this is what I suggest you should do because you are, We don't want to hear that. So therefore, we can't even receive what it is that we need because we got mad because of what they said, instead of just saying thank you, bless you, and be on your way. Because it's going to come from wherever you go to next. You got to know it's coming. You just showed that it ain't possible. You got to say that. You just showed that ain't possible. They turned me down. I knew it. I can't believe people don't really care about people. People don't. Come on. You're hindering yourself. Of course we love you. But right now, maybe I can't bless you. See, I didn't tell you my story. See, we don't think like that, though. Right? That ain't how we thinking. You're just mad because you couldn't do it. I don't know. You believe them. They talking all this stuff, and they ain't even helping me. Hey, hold on. Stop beating yourself up. You talking to you. We got to catch this stuff, man. This is how the world works. It is an imaginary world, it's dreams, and we're finding out. We're all living and discovering how powerful we are. Right? We just happen to be born in this position. Right? Now, the people coming after us, they're going to have to deal with another position. Right? But it's up to us to make them strong by standing in the power that we say we have. That's how we're building them. We're standing on the backs and the presence of the power that was before us. That's why we're here. That's why we got a little bolder. Before that, they couldn't be as bold. We bold now. You got to see your boldness and how you was grown and know that you it. And don't be afraid to accept the challenge. We must keep our attention on whatever it is we're seeking. We should focus on the power of and the power in this presence until it becomes repeatable in every situation that we may find ourselves. You see, our mind is like radio. You know how we used to turn the radio and sometimes you get it ain't quite right, it's scribbling. That's our mind, right? It scrambles. So what we have to do is we have to center it back. You see, to focus on what it is that we want, that we need to do, instead of running away. See, because we lose sight of who we are, and we turn our focus and attention off the presence, we become vulnerable. That's when we become vulnerable. And that's when we have hiccups. So, to reconnect ourselves, let us affirm this. God is all there is.
God is all there is.
And this power is within me.
And this power is within me.
Transforming me. Into the perfection that I am. Receive that. See, the secret to anyone's success is their dedication, their preparation, and their optimism. See, our commitment, participation, and expectations in this is what determines our quality of attainment. So Charles Fillmore defined optimism as the inclination to expect good. Are we expecting it? Are we feeling like, oh, something's about to happen? I think something's good must be happening. Oh, that happened to me? Oh, I know something is coming. Something's got to be coming because I'm dealing with this. That's the inclinations we should all have. If you're not expecting nothing from the invisible, you're not going to get it because that's where it's coming from, in your inclination. Then he goes on, he says, the practice of seeing God. We got to practice seeing God everywhere. All good is everywhere. A sturdy belief in the goodness of reality. This is our reality. If you don't like it, change it. You change it by doing something about it. And you may have to start with prayer. That's why our parents say pray. Sometimes they didn't have the vocabulary or the intellectual fortitude to be able to explain it to us the way we needed it, and they just told us to pray. A lot of us didn't like it, but they was telling us to do the right thing. Get on your knees and talk to God. That spiritual element that is working with you, in you, through you, as you, gifting you, that gave you life, that called you forth out of the darkness and produced you. Stop looking at your mother and father. Look to the Creator. The love of life is within you, and your gift is in your mind. And then your mind will provide you with the instructions to do what it is you need to do, and your movement in life, your hands and your feet will work towards it. Now, if you don't want to work towards it, that's a whole nother conversation. Totally different conversation. We are to believe that we have it as we unite with the power and the presence within us. It goes on to say in Mark, therefore I say unto you, whatsoever things you desire, whatsoever things you pray, believe that you receive them, and ye shall have them. You got to believe it before you even see it. You got to know. You got to know without a doubt. You can't have hesitation, right? Because disappointment, it will show up because you disappointed because it didn't happen today. Oh, it's so hard today. Man, keep fighting, keep tugging, keep moving forward. We must have a recognition of the oneness of God. If you want to check your book, that's John 10 and 30. And it is the Father's good pleasure to give us the keys, right? To the kingdom, right? The kingdom. The kingdom represents complete peace. But you got to believe in peace. And sometimes it's hard because what? Didn't the book say that those arrows, they come at night and they shoot and they trying to take? It's just saying the challenges of life. But we got to stay prayed up so that we can be renewed with the strength of the Lord. That's all. You're going to be renewed. Don't worry about it. Okay, all right, I'll be back. Give me a minute. Go pray up. See, and the harmony that resides within the innermost self of each of us. Because we're all thinking and having our own thoughts about what it is we want to achieve. Why do you think there are many variable types of cars? Because there's many various types of car types that people want. We're all different. Now, you know, just because you have to get something that you afford right now, don't mean you won't get what it is that you want. But you got to find a way to achieve it by being a servant. Our releasing of ourselves unto this power will unleash from within us the power and the presence in this essence of this magnificent power that will provide us the strength, courage, and belief necessary to make us whole. You want to be whole, you got to let go of your own thoughts, your own hesitation, your own doubts. All that's within us, we got to let them all go so that we can see the good that's right here, you know, like right here. You know, like on the other side, it's right here. It ain't that far, But sometimes when we're trying to get there, it do seem far. It do. But we got to still believe. You got to still believe. And then the next thing you know, you got 50 years in. I know some of y'all didn't catch that one, but bless you. So then Jesus came along and Jesus said, I come not to destroy, right? But to reveal to the world the power of the presence that is within them, to fulfill the law and that which is present in the law that works on our behalf. So he just came to teach us the method and how to do it. Because before that, they had the same issues, didn't believe, didn't want it this way. Man, he taxes me too much. We got the same problem, right? Overtax, right? Ain't enough fish. Man, I went out, tried to get this, couldn't get. They had the same problem. But they had to change their methods and their way. So he said, I'm the way, the truth, and the light. And no one comes to the Father but by me. I'm the example. That's all it's saying. I'm the example. And I'm sent to show you the method to conquering your fears, ignorance of the law, and our jealous ways. That's all. It's just a process. We just got to look at it, follow it, and keep repeating the method. And that's why I said the light shined upon the darkness, because it's on all of us. But some of us, we don't grasp it, right? We all, see, it's not that we're ignorant, but we experience ignorance, right? We can learn. It's not that, but it's not being taught that we can by applying ourselves. It's sort of like when you first went to school and they put on the board, 1 + 1. When they first did that, you were like, what? Well, how is that? Until you understood that it was saying add them together, right? Once you knew it was add them together, you knew, oh, so that's how they come up with it. So what Jesus is saying is, if you pray with conviction and belief, you can have it. That's it. It's easy. I know it sounds real easy, huh? But it's like, oh man, that boulder is heavy. Do your push-ups. Get it up off you. Our separation in our mind, it creates a partition that does not allow us to access our power from and in the presence. But let us remember that the power of the presence is always available to us. And the power in the presence will reveal itself to us once we accept that the Spirit works in us, through us, as us. It's moving through us. It's activating us. And it is written, I will never leave you nor forsake you. You got to believe and trust in that. So, in the, it's not up on here, but in the program, it talked about Exodus 33, right? So to bring some, because it was talking about how they were about to leave Egypt, but Moses was trying to get everyone to see what it would take and how, so that they built a tent. And then he would go inside the tent and he would talk to God, right? And this is 33, and I think it's 12. But if not, it's in the program, right? And I'm just doing this from memory. So basically what it is when he went in, he asked God to help them, to assist them, to be able, with their presence, with his presence, so that they can make it. And so God said, I will not forsake you. I am with you. Always. See, Moses had a task to lead all these people onward and forward into a new way of living. And they had to deal with many circumstances, all beliefs of we only read the book. And what happens is that in our minds, we get to this point where we have this blockage of the power that is helping us, that is assisting us, because it didn't happen the way we thought. We took the 20 steps. You told me to take 20. I took 25 because I wanted to get a little closer, but it didn't happen, right? This is what we do to ourselves. But then because we didn't make it on the 25th, we think that he left or he's no longer present. But you got to stay plugged in order to get popped out. Okay? So stay plugged in. In closing, the power and the presence protects us, and the power and the presence provides us all that we need to be empowered. And remember, we are built by God, led by Spirit, and walk by faith. Peace and blessings. Thank you.